Yes, it's that time again. Hello, 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 everybody. I am Kathy J. Welcome to the Kathy J. Show. I have to start by saying thank you. Thank you to everybody out there. Thanks for spending this half hour with me. My team and I have been working really hard to put on good shows for you, so thank you, Denver, for supporting us back. I love you so much. Thank you. All right, so we've had lots of friends on the show so far. We've had lots of experts in their fields trying to get us through life, right? Because the struggle is real. We've had dogs and doctors and lawyers. Oh my. And I'm grateful for all of my guests. Today, we have a chef on, and he's not just any chef, everybody. He is actually called the Martha Stewart of Denver. There he is right there. I'm so excited that he's here. This man is all heart, and that's exactly how he cooks his food, with all of his heart. He also has a mean presentation on his food. But again, the presentation, it's all heart. Now, both of us were heavily influenced by our grandmothers. Both of our grandmothers told us the same thing growing up. Your shoes are on the wrong feet. No, I'm kidding. I know. Our grandmother said the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? Everybody's heard that. Of course, now I've changed it for 2021. The way to anyone's heart is through their stomach. It's also the way, though, to my heart. But they also said, our grandmothers, that food brings people together. Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen. Food brings people together. And that's exactly why Chef David does what he does, because anytime there's food involved, it's an event. I kid you not. And I say event, it's an event. Chef David is here today because he followed his heart. His story is one of confidence, work ethic, and overall style. Overall style, Chef David. His story is like a movie, okay? When Chef David was a teenager, he was homeless, and he lived in a shelter here in Denver. During the day, when the shelters were closed, he would go to the library to stay off the streets, and it was there that he literally saw his future, and he followed it. You have to forgive me, Anna. The thought of this guy being homeless hurts me so much, and the thought that, but it's who he is, and it's helped be who he is, okay? So Chef David had no idea what he was doing when he saw his future that day in the library, but he knew he could learn it, he knew he could do it, and he knew he had talent. And he made it all the way to the Food Network, everybody, and then he made it all the way to decorating the White House at Christmas. I got goosebumps. I hope you do too at home. He owns his own business. Chef David is my friend. Can I have the cookbook? Look at this awesome, awesome cookbook. This is just so cute. Look at those little dimples. He's so cute. So Chef David's my friend. I know he's everybody's friend. I feel like yelling in the station, everybody, Chef David's here. Come say hi to him. He's a light in my life. He's a light in our community. He also makes the most amazing gingerbread cookies that I've ever had. Mark, amen? Amen on Mark. He also agrees. Best gingerbread cookies. He makes everything that's amazing. And guess what? We're going to get to use the kitchen for the first time today on the Kathy J. Show. So get the fire extinguishers ready. It's not because you, Chef David. It's because we never use the kitchen. So I can't wait to introduce you to him. Get ready, everybody, because this is going to be a fun half hour. Chef David is here with me, and we will be right back after the break. Kathy J. The Colorado Lottery is an official partner of the Kathy J. Show. Colorado Lottery, play on. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm fanning off my next guest because he was just in the kitchen cooking.
That was a bad rush.
So welcome back to the show. I love hearing about people's personal information. That's what keeps us going and us connecting to each other. I love hearing stories like you do, their past struggles, their triumphs, what they've learned through their journey. So many amazing stories out there. So that's why I wanted to feature on the Kathy J. Show all of the different lights in the community so you know you're not alone in your struggle, okay, everybody? So I'm doing that today with one of my very close friends and one of my favorite chefs ever, Chef David Bondarchuk. Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. And how do I follow that amazing intro? Are you kidding me?
David, it's how I truly feel about you. I adore you. The fact that you've done all this from scratch, literally, your life is from scratch. So let's tell everybody, so talk about how did you become homeless as a teenager?
So when I was 15, my mom moved to California with my stepdad.
Okay.
And I moved in with my real dad because I stayed back because my grandfather had multiple myeloma.
Okay.
And I wanted to help my grandma.
You were very close with your grandma and your grandpa.
Very, very close.
Okay.
When I grew up, they lived right next door to me.
Okay.
And so I moved in with my real dad. And
so had you been living with your real dad prior to this? Or was
no,
just
I
your
hadn't lived
mom?
with my dad since I was 8 years old.
Wow. Okay. So why did you not go to California with your mom?
I really just wanted to stay with my grandparents,
I get
and
that.
I was already in high school, and I didn't want to lose, being uprooted and going to another school.
That totally makes sense. And you were so then you're living with your dad. Then what happens?
So he's an alcoholic, and he was very abusive.
Right.
And I would go to school, and I would get picked on at school, and then I would get home, and my dad would come home from the bar, and little things would set him off. It was like mommy dearest, like there'd be a dish in the sink, and I would get beat for it. I had broken ribs.
No.
It was really bad. And so one night, my dad came home, and this is a morning show, but.
You got me almost crying. Like, okay, your dad came home. Yeah.
And he found me in bed with another man.
Uh-huh.
And he pulled a gun on me and fired 2 shots in the house.
Are you kidding me?
And I barricaded myself in the bedroom.
Uh-huh.
And by the time I got out of the house through my bedroom window, the cops were already at the house.
Because of the gunshots.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
I think the neighbors called or something.
So then what happened?
The police put me in the back of the car because they didn't really know what was happening in that situation. And then they went in and they arrested my dad and they confiscated the gun and they took photos and there was this whole crime scene investigation. And then it came down to it, the police didn't really know what to do with me. My grandparents were in Arkansas at the time dealing with my grandfather's treatments for his cancer.
Right.
My mom was in California, and there really was nowhere that I could go that I felt comfortable or what have you.
Uh-huh.
So they dropped me off at a local homeless shelter for teens.
So the cops took you to the shelter.
Yeah, the Gemini House over off of like Colfax and Sims.
How old are you at this time?
15.
Okay. So they couldn't leave you at home, removing your dad. They couldn't leave you in the house.
Yeah, no, because if he would have posted bail and
then
come back,
home, you're in the same
exactly.
position. Okay, so now you're at a shelter and you've never thought you'd ever be in this position.
Right.
What happens in the shelter when like you said, they close during the day and stuff.
Right, yeah, you're not allowed to be in the shelter during the day. You have to like go get a job, be in school, whatever.
So all your belongings, where are they at this point?
They were at my dad's house. Some of the stuff was with my mom still.
Okay, so more or less it's gone.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I just had clothes and a backpack.
Okay, all right. So
So-
you're at the shelter. Are you in like a big room with other teenagers? How is it?
Yeah, there was a shared room. There wasn't bunk beds, but there were 2 beds in a room, and I was with different people depending on the night. You know,
Right.
they assigned the beds.
So then, okay, so during the day when the shelter closes, you go to the Denver Public Library because you had told me like the option for kids, you go on the streets, like,
Right.
and there's nothing good that happens on the streets. So you went to the
Well,
library.
to backtrack a little bit,
We got 4 minutes, so you better backtrack.
so during all of this, it was like, I got tired of going to school and answering the questions like, what happened to your face? What happened to your arm?
Oh, yeah.
So I got so behind in school.
Okay.
And I ended up basically dropping out.
Okay.
And so at the bus shelter, or at the homeless shelter every day, they give me bus tokens. And people at the homeless shelter, they would steal from the convenience stores, they would prostitute, they were getting involved with gangs. And I was kind of afraid of all of that because I was never really introduced to any of
right,
that.
right.
Other than like Coolio Gangster Paradise,
right.
or Poetic Justice,
Right, right.
So I used my bus tokens and I just rode the Colfax bus one day just to get away.
Yeah.
And I got off at Broadway and there was the library.
Right.
And I remember when I was a kid, my grandma used to take us to the library
Yes.
to, check out books and things like that. So I just went in there and I hung out. And you could be there all day.
Yes.
Like you weren't kicked out, anything. No one ever asked me questions. It was quiet time.
Right.
And I hung out at the library. I didn't have school. I didn't have work. I had nowhere to go. And I hung out at the library.
And then you saw Martha Stewart one day.
I did on TV, and she was decorating the White House with then First Lady Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
And I went to the library the next day, and I asked the lady at the reference desk, I was like, who is this woman? She was at the White House, and I described her, and the woman's like, I think that's Martha Stewart. Like, don't you know who Martha Stewart is?
Right,
and I was
right.
like, no. She took me up to the second floor, and I was like, that's the lady, that's the lady. So I started reading all of her books cover to cover.
Yeah.
And I wanted to create a life for myself that was beautiful because there was too much ugly. And so Martha was that person for me.
There she is.
Oh my. So that is the very first time I ever got to meet her in 2008 before I decorated the White House. I got to go on her show.
That is amazing. So did you just start sending her letters? How did you get her attention?
I did. I watched her show every single day, and I didn't start sending her letters until she went to prison. I wrote her every single week, and like when I found out she got sentenced and like the Enron guys didn't, I was heartbroken.
Did she get your letters?
Bawling.
Did she get your letters?
Yes, and I got many postcards from, she was at Alderson State Prison, and I got many postcards back from her. She is my fairy godmother. Like,
she really
I love
is.
her. But since all of this has happened and, I did this, how Scratch started was I started cooking for myself. And you can't really cook for yourself. You have scads of leftovers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what had happened was I started giving away my food.
Yes.
And then people started asking me to cook for them, and they paid me for it. And I was like, this is like a side hustle.
This
is how I can make some money,
And this is it. This is the result.
Scratch Catering Services was born. But,
we have to go. You stop right there.
Okay.
All right, everybody. We could talk all day, as you can tell. Chef David's got stories for days. Okay, but everybody, lucky for us, we're about to cook with Chef David. You're about to see what all this is about. When we come back after the break, we're making a spicy pot roast.
Yes!
Delicious. And guess what? Because Chef David, the way he is, you got to be able to use whatever you cook for leftovers. That's what's going to happen. He's going to show us how you turn that spicy pot roast into delicious leftovers. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Thank you, Chef David. Oakwood Homes is an official partner of The Kathy J Show. Oakwood Homes, building happiness. This is so exciting, everybody. Welcome back to the Kathy J Show. I'm Kathy J, everybody. This is Chef David Bondarchuk of Scratch Catering Services. One of my good peeps. I know he's good peeps to everybody in the city. But here, one of his best talents, his talents, in the culinary world are endless. You can do this. So today we're putting together a spicy pot roast.
Yes.
That we're going to be able to turn into a bunch of leftovers because I'm a mom and I need the leftovers. And you always learn from your grandma, nothing goes to waste.
Right.
Yes. Okay. So
waste not, want not.
Waste not, want not. So I'm excited that we're all here in the kitchen. Where do we start, Chef David?
All right. So first we're going to start with this pot roast.
Okay.
So it's really very simple.
I know how to. So I go buy a pot roast. Now, is that the round brown or the Chuck Brown? What is?
I always use chuck roast. You want to have good marbling in your meat.
I want the white.
You want that white stuff because as it cooks, that melts down. It makes the meat tender, and that's exactly what you want. Round roasts are typically a bit more dry.
Yeah.
And if you add a bunch of liquid to it to keep that from happening, the roast shrinks down, and then you have less yield.
I thought that was just normal, that the roast got smaller.
It's because it's like there's not enough fat in it.
See, said no one ever.
You're making jerky, Kathy. Jerky.
I do make jerky. Okay, so we got our marbled roast.
Yes.
Okay.
So this just goes right into your slow cooker. If you don't have a slow cooker, you can use like a roasting pan and put it in the oven. I would do this at about 300 degrees.
Okay.
It's gonna cook.
That's not that hot.
No,
okay.
It's gonna cook for about 4 hours in the oven, but
That's
in this crock pot, I put it on low, let it go for 8 hours.
Okay.
So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some onion. It can be any onion. Right there, I used a
That
red.
was just one whole onion?
Right.
What you're gonna come to see, everybody, is that Kathy J can't cook, so I like to ask a lot of questions because I don't understand anything. Okay, so that's a whole red onion.
Right.
All
so and if we can get an overhead shot here. So this right here is just lining the bottom of this crock pot so the meat is not directly on the bottom of the pot.
Okay, why is that?
It adds flavor, and you just don't want to burn and get the meat too dried out on the bottom. You want to have a little bit of space. It's like cooking on a rack.
See, that's beautiful. Cooking on a rack. You go ahead, add the meat.
Right.
I never would have thought of that because you're told you just throw it all in. But there's like a little layer process I wasn't aware of.
Right. So now I put my chuck roast right here on top. This is about a 6.5 pound chuck roast.
Okay.
Now I'm going to go ahead and take my gloves off
You go
because
for
we're
it.
done dealing with raw meat. We're gonna go ahead and season it with salt and pepper.
Okay.
You can also add some garden thyme if you want. I love garden thyme. And if you don't want to have this spicy, just pour a can of tomato soup over the top of this, and it's gonna be the same thing.
Done.
All right?
Delicious. Okay. What are you adding here for the spices?
Okay, so right here is canned Chipotles.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and add 2. You can puree them. It makes it a little bit more spicy. It permeates the meat.
Yum.
Or you can just have like a bit of flavor.
Okay.
And so I throw them in whole.
That sounds
Then you're
delicious.
gonna pour a can of diced tomatoes right over the top.
Okay.
Add a couple of bay leaves.
Okay.
Right to the side and put it in the crock pot.
Okay.
I use the dried bay leaves.
Yeah.
If you can find the fresh, like at Savory Spice or something like that, go ahead and use those. They're great.
Okay.
Gonna cook this, boom.
It's cooking.
So now
It's done.
cooked. Ta-da! The magic of television, am I right?
Yes. Okay.
So there you go. That is what it looks like when it is done
Let me-
cooking.
If I can. Where's my camera?
Oh, you're fine.
Yay!
Yes. And so now you just want to like get in there with the top. Look at how this is just pulling apart.
It's beautiful.
Kathy.
Oh my gosh.
It just
smells
shreds,
amazing.
Right?
What do I do now?
So now you serve that with potatoes, a vegetable, a nice salad. Dinner is done. Boom.
Right.
And all it took was a few minutes early in the morning. 8 hours later, you come home from work. Boom, it's done.
I got it. Dinner's done. Okay, now I got leftovers.
Now, if you have
What are we doing with the potatoes?
Okay,
Are we
I'm
going to
gonna-
set the kitchen on fire?
Maybe.
Okay.
So now, with this, whatever's left over, what we can do is we can make quesadillas. You can make chimichangas. You really can do anything.
Since
But-
I'm new to the kitchen, Chef David,
Yeah.
where do we turn that off?
Oh,
I don't want you burning yourself.
Oh, no, you're fine. We're going to actually continue adding.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm making a breakfast hash with this now.
I'm the chef here, Chef David. Let me tell you what we're doing. I'm so sorry. What? Okay.
So you can add potatoes to this.
For the night dinner.
For the night dinner. And then if you have leftovers, it's perfect for hash. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more red onion. Notice how I have everything really chunky. I like it
Yes.
chunky.
He likes his oatmeal lumpy.
Oh my gosh, I haven't heard the Humpty Dance in forever.
Did you get that?
All right, so right here in this pot, or this skillet, I've got some bell pepper, some sweet red onion. We're gonna season that with a little bit of salt and pepper. Doesn't it smell good?
Smells delicious, Chef David.
So savory, so good. Now you can do this if you've got pork roast. You can do this if you've got corned beef, but we are using the spicy this today.
Okay.
So now what we're gonna do is you've got this leftover
like
from
a
the night
minute
before.
left. Okay.
Just go ahead and add that in there.
Yeah.
Listen to that sizzle.
The sizzle. That's the yum, yum, yum.
Doesn't that smell
Yes.
amazing?
Yes. Where do I go now?
Grab that bowl.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna let this cook, and normally I would let that onion and bell pepper cook a little bit longer. Go ahead and give me this.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and put this right into the bowl.
Did you ever end up going to cooking classes?
No, I've never been to
What?
culinary school. You guys always call me Chef David, and I never argue with you, but I'm not technically a chef.
What? Okay, why are you putting eggs in here? Because it's a breakfast.
It's a breakfast hash scramble.
Oh, that is
Top
beautiful.
that with some scrambled eggs. Oh, he has the live shot right there.
Thank you, Mark.
And
That's
top
a great
it
shot.
with a little bit of cheese.
Yes.
And before you dig in, Kathy, I've got extra special something for you.
Okay.
I made a roasted tomato chipotle salsa.
Oh,
We're
look
just
at
gonna
that.
dabble that all over the top and go in there, Kathy.
I'm going in. I'm going in. So I can't call you a chef. You haven't been to school. Technically, you're a chef. You have a book. You have all of this
Well,
deliciousness.
you call me chef, and I'm cooking on TV, and that's more than most chefs, so I'm Chef David.
Let's try it.
So good, right?
Oh my God. This is delicious. Thank you so much, everybody. Chef David's all about making sure that whatever you cook, you can use it in leftovers and change the flavors of it and keep it going. Don't waste anything.
No.
ScratchCateringServices.com is where you can find everything that Chef David does.
Yes.
He's also got a food truck. He calls it the Remix.
Yes.
Remix, where he serves fine catering. I'm so sorry, I have food in my mouth. Read that. And one more thing, his cookbook.
From Scratch is available only on Amazon.com.
We'll be right back. Thank you.
Oh.
I love you. Ramos Law is an official partner of the Kathy J Show. He's a medical doctor and a lawyer. Ramos Law, what makes us different makes us better. can't believe the show's over already. Thank you so much for watching today. I want to say thank you to my sponsors. Thank you to Ramos Law, FitMD, Oakwood Homes, and the Colorado Lottery. I couldn't do the show without you. Shout out to IKEA Centennial for my awesome set. Thank you, Chef David, for coming today and for sharing your recipes. I will get the recipe up on my Facebook page. Kathy J On Air is where you can find it. Chef David sparkles from head to toe, everybody. Look at his shoes. Do you believe this? He is amazing. Everything he does head to toe is simply amazing. Chef David, thank you so much for being with us today. I look forward to having you on the show a lot. I'm going to put this down here away from the food. But I want to let you close and tell everybody any closing thoughts you have for everybody before we say goodbye.
Sure. I'm successful and I did it all, and you guys can too. Once you start living your authentic self, you too can do everything you want from scratch.
Oh, did you see how he did that from scratch? Because he's from scratch. I love you so much. ScratchCateringServices.com, everybody's where you can get it. We love you. Thank you, Chef David. David Bonderchuk. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Mwah.